What if the stranger across the room wasn't a stranger at all? What if every glance, every half smile, every accidental brush of eyes was actually a secret message meant only for you? Imagine waking up each day absolutely certain that someone powerful, someone famous, someone far beyond your reach is in love with you. Not casually interested, not mildly curious, in love. You see signs everywhere. A pause during a speech, a lyric in a song, a coded post online, proof. But there's one problem. They've never spoken to you, and they don't even know you exist. Why does the human mind break like this? Why would someone construct an entire romantic universe built on signals no one else can see? This is erotomania, a rare but deeply unsettling psychological condition where a person believes that someone, often of higher social status, is secretly in love with them. It's not a crush, not obsession alone, it's conviction. And once that conviction takes hold, reality begins to bend around it. Segment 1. The Disturbing Origins. Erotomania was first formally described in 1921 by French psychiatrist Gaëtan de Clérambault, who called it psychose passionnelle. He documented patients, mostly women at the time, who were utterly convinced that men of higher status were pursuing them romantically. These weren't shy admirers misreading signals. They were certain of hidden communication. A glance from a balcony meant devotion. A newspaper headline meant secret longing. Silence itself meant protection. De Clérambault noticed something chilling. The imagined lover was almost always inaccessible. Royalty, doctors, celebrities, religious leaders. Distance protected the delusion. If the lover denied feelings, that was proof they were hiding it. If they married someone else, it was a cover-up. If they called the police, it was a tragic misunderstanding orchestrated by jealous third parties. The belief was airtight. It adapted to survive. And that's the first terrifying truth about erotomania. It doesn't crumble under contradiction. It metabolizes it. It reshapes reality instead of surrendering to it, bending every counter-argument into further confirmation. Segment 2. Inside the Delusion. Erotomania is classified under delusional disorder, erotomanic type. At its core, it's a fixed false belief that another person is in love with you, despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Here's what makes it disturbing. The person doesn't feel confused. They feel illuminated, as if they've discovered a hidden layer of reality others are too blind to see. Their brain begins pattern seeking at hyperspeed. Humans are wired to detect meaning in chaos. That instinct keeps us alive. But when that system misfires, coincidence becomes destiny. A celebrity posts at 11:11 p.m. That's symbolic. A news anchor adjusts their tie. That's nervous affection. Politician uses the word hope. That's a coded message meant only for you. The mind stitches random data into a romantic narrative. Neurologically, researchers suspect dysfunction in dopamine pathways, the same circuits involved in schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. Dopamine governs salience, the sense that something is important. When salience goes haywire, neutral events feel intensely personal. This is known as aberrant salience. Your brain isn't lying to you maliciously. It's mislabeling signals as meaningful. Once the belief forms, cognitive bias locks it in. Confirmation. Bias gathers evidence. Disconfirmation is reinterpreted. Contradictions strengthen the story. Memory itself can become distorted, rewritten to better support the fantasy. The delusion becomes self-sealing, and because the imagined relationship feels emotionally real, the attachment feels justified, the longing feels sacred, the heartbreak feels authentic. Only the relationship itself doesn't exist. Segment 3. When fantasy turns dangerous. Most cases of erotomania escalate into stalking behaviors, letters, emails, repeated appearances at workplaces or homes. The sufferer often believes they are already in a relationship. They may think the other person is shy, restricted by status, or controlled by managers, spouses, or institutions preventing the truth from emerging. There have been documented cases involving actors, politicians, musicians, and even therapists. In some situations, individuals have crossed state lines, trespassed onto private property, or confronted their imagined lover publicly. Some cases have ended in violence, arrests, or long-term psychiatric hospitalization. But here's the tragedy. The person with erotomania rarely sees themselves as threatening. They see themselves as devoted, loyal, brave, misunderstood romantics trapped in a world that refuses to acknowledge their bond. From their perspective, they are fighting for love. The emotional intensity is not fake. It's not performative. It's overwhelming and consuming. And when rejection comes, restraining orders, arrests, public denial, it doesn't always break the belief. It often deepens it. They're protecting us. They're being forced to deny it. They can't reveal the truth yet. The narrative adjusts to preserve the fantasy, reinforcing the emotional investment instead of dismantling it. Segment 4. The psychological core: loneliness, power, and identity. Erotomania often hides beneath profound isolation. The delusion frequently emerges in individuals who feel invisible, rejected, or powerless. Believing someone powerful loves you reverses that hierarchy instantly. You are chosen. You are desired. You are central to someone extraordinary. It's intoxicating. In many cases, the imagined lover is socially superior, wealthy, admired, influential. The delusion elevates the sufferer's identity. Instead of being lonely, they are secretly adored. Instead of being ordinary, they are the center of a hidden epic romance. It's not just about love, it's about worth, about being significant in a world that once felt indifferent. Psychologically, this can function as a defense against crushing insignificance. The brain constructs a narrative where you matter immensely to someone who matters to everyone else. But the defense becomes a prison. As the belief strengthens, real-world relationships deteriorate. Friends who question the delusion are labeled jealous. Family members are blind. Anyone challenging the fantasy becomes hostile. Gradually, the person withdraws deeper into their constructed reality, and the distance between fantasy and fact grows wider, until the imagined relationship feels more authentic than anything tangible. Segment 5. The digital age amplifier. In the 21st century, erotomania has found new fuel: social media. Celebrities now speak directly into our screens. They say, I love you guys. They look into the camera lens and it feels like eye contact. They respond to comments. They go live from their bedrooms. They share tears, breakups, confessions. The barrier between public and private has collapsed. Parasocial relationships, one-sided emotional bonds with public figures, are common and usually harmless. Millions feel connected to creators and never cross into delusion. But for someone vulnerable, social media becomes a laboratory of proof. A like becomes confirmation. A vague caption becomes confession. An algorithmic suggestion becomes fate. If a singer posts a heartbreak emoji, it must be about you. If a live stream freezes while they stare at the camera, that pause was intentional. If they block you, it's because someone is controlling them. The belief feels coherent, logical. Algorithms intensify this illusion. If you search for someone once, their content floods your feed. To most users, that's personalization. To someone with erotomania, it feels like reciprocity. The platform becomes a silent accomplice. Notifications never stop. Stories refresh. Messages linger unanswered. The digital world never sleeps, and neither does the delusion. The proximity feels real. They're in your pocket, on your bedside table, in your headphones at 2 a.m., but it's engineered proximity. The camera simulates intimacy. The algorithm simulates connection. The interface is designed to trigger emotional engagement, not mutual awareness. For most of us, that illusion remains transparent. But when doubt disappears, the internet becomes a hall of mirrors. Every reflection confirms the fantasy. Every notification whispers validation. What begins as admiration can crystallize into conviction, and conviction spreads at the speed of Wi-Fi. The twist in application. You probably don't have erotomania, but have you ever misread a signal? Have you ever replayed a conversation, convinced there was something there? Have you ever interpreted silence as mystery instead of indifference? The mind hates ambiguity. It fills in blanks. We all create narratives. To make sense of uncertainty, we assign meaning to glances. We decode tone. We construct stories about what others feel. Sometimes we even cling to those stories because they are more comforting than the alternative. Erotomania is the extreme end of a very human tendency, turning possibility into certainty. The difference is scale and the loss of doubt. Most of us can step back. We can question ourselves. We can accept rejection. In erotomania, doubt dies. And when doubt disappears, reality testing disappears with it. So the next time you feel absolutely certain that someone's behavior means something more, ask yourself, is this evidence? Or is this my mind protecting me from loneliness, from rejection, from insignificance? Because the most dangerous illusions aren't the ones we question. They're the ones that make us feel chosen, special, singular, in someone else's universe. And if the mind can fabricate love out of silence, what else can it fabricate? False memories, imagined threats, entire identities, whole alternate realities stitched together from fragments of coincidence. And that is why you need to watch the next videos.